Good morning and welcome back to the channel. My name is David Ramos. I'm a Christian author, and today's video we're going to dive into some Christian book marketing options for you. All of the information I'm going to show you is courtesy of one of the members of our Facebook group, so I'll make sure to link below in case you want to join in. So he shared the actual numbers of what he spent and what he made on about 12 to 15 different advertising platforms. And his book is Christian fiction. So, the result we're going to talk about is for that genre specifically, but then I'm also going to highlight in bold the ones I have used for Christian nonfiction, and the ones I recommend and the ones I think just aren't worth the money. So we're going to kind of go through, show you exactly what was spent, the ROI on all of it, and just kind of some high level ideas about marketing your books, especially when they're self-published. All right, so first I want to make sure you know the Excel sheet I'm going to show you for the video. You can find it in the Facebook group in the files section. I uploaded an Excel version and a PDF version, so if you go there, if you're in the group, just go to files and download. If you're not in the group, go ahead and request and we'll add you usually within a day or two, and you can just go and download it so you can see all the numbers for yourself. Okay? All right, and I wanted to show you something first before we dive in, because in 2016 I did a similar experiment with a lot. It took, this is probably over a year. I did, I don't know how many are here. How many are here? About almost 70 different advertising options. Some of them were free, some of them were paid, and I started to color code them by the results I got. This was helpful, and I explained what worked and what didn't work with people. Um, and I think I'll do something like this again later in the year, but this is from 2016, so it's not going to be as accurate as what I'm showing you today. So the one I'm showing you today is going to be pretty good. All right, so let's jump into the actual sheet. So this is what we're going to be working with. You can see over here, name of service. So these are I think 15 different advertising platforms he used, the type of ad. Usually he'd pick the standard option. If it was something different, like a highlight, spotlight, or something else, that's in this category. The total investments, how much money was spent, the number of sales that were garnered from the promotion, the profit per sale. So as you can see, his book was priced for 99 cents, and that's the lowest Kindle will go unless you're doing a free promotion, and so the standard profit on that is 35 cents. And then simple math, total money made, so how many sales times the profit. And then at the very end here we have ROI, so the formula is down here, basically money made minus money spent divided by money spent. So the percentage, are you making your money back? For most of these promotions, the answer is no in the short term, but at the end of the video, we'll kind of talk about how you should be thinking about these promotions and why, even with the negative ROI in the beginning, they can be really beneficial over the long term. All right, got some water. All right, so first one here, Christian book marketing. If you leave me a comment, I can go and get the URLs for all of these, but if you have the names, you should be able to find them pretty simply. So for this one, the first one here is about a $260 investment, which is on par with BookBub. A BookBub for the Christian fiction or Christian nonfiction will run you anywhere between $300 and $600 for most advertisements, and he only got 2 sales from that. Now with BookBub, if you're spending BookBub money, you should be getting BookBub results. In the past when I've done that, I averaged about $30,000 free or 30,000 free downloads, and my first paid promotion is actually in 2 weeks, so I'll be giving the results on that. But I'm expecting a positive ROI in the short term and the long term. So Christian book marketing is one we cannot recommend. Hot Zippy, I think this was kind of a distribution service because it also included Pixel Scroll and Bargain Ebook Hunter, which are ones I've used in the past. As you can see, the price was $98, got 2 sales. So again, like the first one, almost a complete loss in terms of ROI. Moving down, we have the Authors XP. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. Authors XP, this was a spotlight thing. And again, the investment 85, the number of sales is 1, and you can see again almost 100% negative ROI. Now, one thing I want to say as we're going through this is that there are a lot of things that can impact your ROI. Obviously, the cover, the blurb you're writing, have you optimize the Amazon sales page. There's all these little things that can, can turn 2 sales into 5 or 5 sales into 10. And we can talk about that in the future. But just so you know, kind of as a background, this author has done a very good job. His cover is above average for the genre he's in. The blurb was above average. He wasn't like, these are not results because the book wasn't good. These are results based on, do these services actually have a good gathering of people interested in Christian fiction for this case? And as you can see from a lot of the results, the answer is not so much. So you have to really pay attention to where Christian fiction readers or nonfiction or whatever genre you're in, what are they subscribing to? Where do they go to get their books? Just because, Christian book marketing might sound good on paper and they might say they have this huge email list, all the people there might only be looking for a very certain type of Christian book. Maybe they only read classics. Maybe they only read, more like Pentecostal literature or so on. And so you have to pay attention that just because it didn't work for your genre doesn't mean it won't work for another one. But vice versa. Just because it worked for your author friend who writes in this genre doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. That's why paying attention to tests like this and just doing your own experimenting can be super helpful to find which ones work best for you. So as you can see, I'm not going to read you all of them because I know you can see this and you can kind of pause the video and go through. But for the most part, the first 10 or 9 of them are almost a complete loss in terms of short-term ROI. They're getting, the highest one here was 5 sales. Book Gorilla has a gigantic list. And they are one I've used for nonfiction, but the same thing, I can't really recommend them for my own personal experience because they, it might be a big list, but they must not clean it out very often or so on, because same thing, I'm not getting the short-term ROI or long-term ROI that I would want. Alright, but I'm going to move down to some of the ones that have a more positive ROI. So if you jump down, see most of these are about a little bit above negative 90. And then towards the end here, we start getting a little better. So here, for BookSense and eReader IQ and Book Ruins, these were 3 separate ones that happened to be booked on the same day. So they're priced between $15 and $20 each. And you can see, got 23 sales from that little bundle, which 23 is almost better than all of the ones above combined for a fraction of the price. And together that made a negative 85 ROI, but I'm not too worried about that. What I'm more concerned about is that these can be good places to start the Amazon algorithm in your favor, to start getting 23 readers to buy a book is pretty good, from going completely no idea of who you are to getting 23 people to shell out money for your book. Because this is profit. He made $8 in profit off the books, but the revenue, 23 people spent $1 on that book to get it, and so that's pretty positive. So like these, if you're looking at Christian fiction, these might be some to look into. Up here, the Kindle Nation Daily and eReader News. Again, these were 2 separate services, so it's hard to tell which one was more effective than the other. It got 35 sales from that. It would be worth it to break these apart, do them separately, maybe 2 to 3 days apart, and see which one is worth keeping around in the long term. Because 35 sales is nothing to balk at. That is a great number. Again, made $12 from that. But what we're, the better thing, the thing where I want you to think is that a lot of these services are meant to help you work the Amazon algorithm. If you can schedule something like this every week or 2, especially for the first 60 to 90 days of your book launch, that can have really positive long-term results for your book. So for example, my Climbing with Abraham book, had a lot of free promotions within the first, on and off for the first year. And it's been, that came out in 2015, and still in 2019, I get, on a slow day, I get 10 to 20 free downloads a day of that book. And on good days, which happen fairly often, I get 50 to 100 free downloads. Um, and so that's people out of the blue getting the first in that series, and then many of them go on to read the rest. And so, that's one of the long-term tips I want to give you, that when you're just looking at the straight short-term ROI, these don't seem like a good investment. But when you know how to use them and which ones are worth it, then it becomes a much better tool to use in the grand scheme of your author journey. All right. Couple more I want to highlight down here: Faithful Readers and e-reader cafe. Again, this is 2 of them, so I think it would be worth it for you to break these apart, do them again 2 or 3 days apart, and see which one is more beneficial to you. Because again, 26 sales from $50, that's 26 brand new readers who shelled out money for your book. That's a pretty good turnaround. And then finally, Book Cave, which surprised me that it did so well for fiction. I know I've had good results with fiction using, or nonfiction in the past, but look at that: 20 sales for $21, or 21 sales for $20, and the lowest, or technically the highest ROI of negative 63%. This is one I have to recommend because, as you can see, I also bolded it. So the bold ones here, Fussy Librarian, Gospel eBooks, Bargain Booksy, and Book Cave, are ones that I have had really positive results for using nonfiction. The prices for each of these categories are usually different depending on the genre you're booking. So for Christian nonfiction, it's usually a little higher than Christian fiction because the lists are a little bit bigger. But for Fussy Librarian, I've almost always gotten what I want out of it. So when I'm booking, just kind of some background info, when I'm booking a promotion for a book, I want to get at least as many sales as dollars I've spent. So, example, for Book Cave, if I got 21 sales for $20, that's a win in my book, because I am starting to calculate the lifetime value of a reader. For most of my readers, will read, for the most part, 3 to 5 of my books within 2 years of getting into my, realm, or whatever that is, into my community of readers and supporters and so on. So I know that a reader, for the most part, they might start with an ebook, but they'll probably end up with a paperback. And so they're probably going to spend, if I'm just talking about paperback books now, they're probably going to spend X amount of dollars on those, and I'll probably make $5 to $10 in profit. So if it's only costing me $1 to get a new reader, I know I'm going to make 5 to 10 times that in the next 2 years. So for Fussy Librarian, if I spent 24, it's very reasonable that I'd get 24 to 40 new readers into that cycle, and then over the next 2 years, from that $24 promotion, I'd probably make at least $100 to $200 just from those readers, and so on, for Gospel eBooks and Bargain Booksy and so on. So that's kind of a number I keep in my mind when I'm booking my promotions, because I have that backlist and that back information to work from. So as you build your marketing cycle and build your community and so on, you'll have more data to pull from and can kind of gauge what's valuable to you. So again, just kind of wrapping things up here, you can see the total investment was a little bit over $1,000, and money made in the short term was only $51. Now again, we should probably do a follow-up video in 6 months and see how that specific book is doing. How much money is it making without promotions, just from the Amazon algorithm, to see if this helped that come to a more break-even number. Because if you're timing these right, and you're picking the ones that are actually beneficial for you, you will make money in the long term. That's how this works. Promotions like these are not meant to have a positive ROI in the first day. If that happens, that's awesome. But just speaking from experience, getting to $400 or $500 a month consistently didn't get there by booking these and overnight getting it to that number. It has been a slow haul for me at least, and I expect that Amazon will continue to do that because they want to see books. They want to sell books that people want to buy consistently. They don't want to sell books that people will buy once and then never look at that author again. So just have that long game mentality when you are booking these and experimenting. I think you have to set aside money that you're willing to lose to find out what works for you. And so in March, I'm doing a bunch of promotion for Magnetic Faith, and I'll do a similar video like this to kind of talk about what worked for me and what didn't work and what I learned from the whole process. Because yeah, promotions like these are just part of the game for being a self-published author. So I'm just gonna put stars like these so I remember in the future to talk or show links to these guys. Cool. So if you have any questions about anything I talked about here, or you want me to review other book marketing services that you've stumbled upon, go ahead and leave a comment. If you have not subscribed yet and you're getting value from these videos, go ahead and do that. I'm going to be doing at least one author-related video every week. I'm going to have some different ones coming out as we get closer to the new release on March 12th. So yeah, I just want to thank you for watching this video. And if you're not in the authors group yet on Facebook, I'll put a link below so you can do that too. All right, thank you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.